We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Well, the first thing you gotta realize, brother, is this right here is the future of wrestling.
Broadcasting live from the Jock Studios in St. Albans, West Virginia, and streaming live around the world at WJYPAM.com. The Wrestling Radio Show is taking over.
Joined in the studio tonight, we've got a couple guests. Gentlemen, why don't you introduce yourselves to all the wrestling fans tonight in West Virginia?
Yo, it's Smokey C.
Ed Crowza is in the house with Raw Talent in the background here, too.
Yes, we got a full house. There we go. Anytime we got more than one, actually, in the Jock Studio here, it's a full house, and I'm glad we have a full house tonight because there are stories that need to be shared tonight about Woody Numbers. And boys, let me just ask you personally, how you guys doing? How's everything been the last couple of days? I know it hasn't been fun, but how's everybody doing?
Man, it's been a rough week, man, you know what I mean? But we got Woody home, and that's all he wanted. So, I mean,
past 48 hours, I will tell you that me and Smokey have partied like Woody Numbers would have wanted us to party.
Yes.
There you go. Sometimes it's not about the sadness. Sometimes you got to tear it up.
Yeah. Last night, actually, Spider Nate Webb made the trip down, and me and Smokey and Spider got to close out Charleston, West Virginia bars.
There you go.
I think about 4 o'clock this morning, Smoke?
Yes, about 4 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, 3:30 is about last call, and then 4 o'clock they're sweeping you out the door.
Well, they were, but it took about 30 minutes, 45 minutes to get Nate
You guys
out.
get a taxi? Did you call a taxi?
No.
You didn't call Raw Talent?
No, we were fine. Don't get me wrong. Me and Smokey were fine. Nate, he had some issues walking out the door.
Actually, I was waiting on the phone call, seeing as I am a cab driver, taking care of Charleston, West Virginia. If you need me, give me a holler. It's Raw Talent. I'm your man that you need in the late night hours if you need to get home. If you need to make it home safe, I'm the one you need to call. You need to love me, baby. Section chocolate in the house.
Woo! You got to repeat that back to the operator as well. That whole thing, that whole promo right there, or he won't come. All right, guys. So honestly, like I said at the top of the show, I don't have a personal story about Woody Numbers. I don't have something like that. You know, I bumped into him a couple times being backstage at shows. I got to see him work. You guys knew him personally. So why don't you just take me back to the beginning? When's the first time you met Woody Numbers?
Actually, honestly, what I would love right now, I've known Woody since he was about 12 years old.
Okay.
I would love to hear from Smokey C, specifically the first time you met Woody, because I don't know the story.
Okay, first time I had met Wood, man, I was training in Nitro, West Virginia to be in this great business. You know, there was a lot of guys who doubted me and didn't believe in me, man. But
I was one of those guys.
and Woody, man, he would take time out of his day, and he would meet me at the building or come pick me up, and we'd go down to the building, and he'd call guys down. And, you know, I got better because of Woody, and I owe everything I am to Woody Numbers, man.
How long ago was that, Smoke?
16 years ago,
16
man.
years,
Yeah.
so...
Yeah.
Making us feel old. That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, but I won't say that's the first time I met Wood, but that was the first like real impact he had on me, man, because he showed me that, you know, he believed in me, you know, and but no, the first time I had met Wood was he was a fan in the crowd, you know, he was still sitting in the crowd, and I remember as XMCW Nitro, and it was like him and Pimp Dragon and Christian,
Frank
and,
Manhattan.
yeah, Frank Manhattan. all those cats were sitting in the crowd, man, and just, they made the show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once they started yelling, of course, everyone else started yelling.
Peanut crowd, yeah.
Right, yeah, man. Yeah, that was the first time I met Wood, was, he's part of the crowd, and so was I, so.
You've said you've known him since you were 12, so you probably known him since maybe he got into wrestling. Back in the day.
Absolutely.
Take us back to the earliest days that you can remember of you guys getting into wrestling together.
Well, actually, I had broken in probably a year before they started XMCW, and Attitude, Matt, who was one of the co-founders of XMCW, actually asked me to come up and do some work with him, and it was fantastic. We were starting a new company. XMCW was this brand new thing, and it felt that there was a lot of love from all the guys, all the boys in the back, including the women. There was a lot of love going on there. And so we had a great time. So basically what it was I was telling my friends, I was like, they are some of the best fans in the world because they know what's going on. They know what we need. And I was like, we have this new company coming up, and I would love for everyone to come down, Wood and Frank and Kevin and Christian and everyone. And the guys in the back, first show, they mark out like nobody's business. And I go up to the monitor. I'm like, what are you guys marking out about? And they're like, oh my God, do you hear these fans? We're getting ECW chants. We're getting all these chants. This stuff is blowing up. It's crazy. I was like, no. That's my boys. 100%. You're not, the reactions you're getting is because they're out there and they're showing their love, and at that point, Wood wasn't actually, he had not made his debut yet. And that was the great thing about Wood, was you could introduce him to anyone, and he was just like their best friend the next day. He had that much love in him. He was that great of a guy, and that's the way he kind of worked in, because we did XMCW show after XMCW show, and then eventually I think it was Christian that talked Wood into doing some managing and stuff at that point. I don't know if you remember that era.
Yeah, I was there. I was around for that. Yeah.
Were you working yet, Smokey, when Wood first started managing?
If I wasn't working, it was shortly thereafter.
Yeah, it was very close to the same period of time, And Christian had started managing me, and we were doing a program with Alan, Mr. X, and we did a program with. I can't remember. There's a bunch of different stuff we did, but it was shortly after that. I was taking a little bit of a break when Wood came in, and so that's why I didn't start off with Wood. And it was fantastic. It really blew up after that, but it was crap. I can't specifically remember, but that is due to probably all the concussions that the two of us have had.
Raw Talent, you want to jump in and tell a story about the early days?
I'll go ahead and jump in. I don't have any problem with that. I can tell you the first time I met Wood. See, unlike the two gentlemen sitting next to me, I am an excellent professional wrestler. I was trained.
That is a shoot.
I was trained down in Miami for Florida Championship Wrestling by the WWF, not WWE because it's back in the days, own Trash Man Duke the Dumpster Drosy. And I got stuck in this town called West by God, Virginia, Charleston. And when I got here, one of the first people I met that I didn't have a despise for was Woody Numbers. That's probably because he was smart enough to be born in Miami, Florida. One of the first things that Mr. Numbers noticed about me was my beautiful family. Mother of my children, who was a beautiful woman from Elkview, West Virginia. For some odd reason, she was dumb enough to hit me in the back of the head. Maybe it was chloroform, but she got me to move here. Not exactly sure. But we do have a beautiful daughter, and Wood noticed me playing with my child, and he was like, hey, who is that? I'm like, that's my baby girl there. And he was like, that's beautiful. I love children. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I want to be a dad one day because I love taking care of kids. Which was really weird to hear, because in this city, I've heard certain things about the state of West Virginia, which I won't get into. I'm a little bitter, if you can't tell. But I did like Wood. Woody was a very good man, and he appreciated and respected the way that I took care of my daughter. And we became friends after that. And then we became very good work teammates after that. And then we decided to set this world on fire by becoming a tag team with a manager, because my manager was from South Africa, and you could tell because he had about 15% in the side of his beard. Go ahead, tell him about it.
I gotta say, the first time I ever saw Raw Talent and Smokey work, it was in XMCW, and I gotta say that the first time I saw Raw Talent, I was blown away. I was like, who is this guy? And I think Woody said, that's Dwayne. And I was like, oh, that's Dwayne. Okay, Dwayne. So I think I called you like Dwayne for years because I can't hear. No, legit, shoot, I can't hear. But, and Smokey too. Man, you guys were amazing. Seriously, both of you. And, you can actually see people, you can see talent, and you know it when you see it. And
yeah.
Both of these guys, early on, we saw them, and Woody would say, he would talk about both of you nonstop. Now, we did leave Smokey C outside of a bar one night, and that was slightly a bit of a problem, but, You want to tell them about that, Smoke?
Well, hold that story
Okay.
because we got to take a break, but we'll come back with that story.
Pay the bills. Pay the bills.
We got to pay the bills. We'll be back. We'll get that story from Smokey C about being left out of the bar as we continue to pay tribute tonight to Woody Numbers. It's the Wrestling Radio Show on The Jock. Welcome back to the Wrestling Radio Show here on 1300, 1340 The Jock. All of our bumper music tonight are going to be different versions of Stan Hansen's theme music because, like I said, I didn't know Woody, but I saw a picture posted of Woody Numbers and Stan Hansen, and one of the captions says they never saw him happier than that night when he got to meet Stan Hansen. So we'll do all Stan Hansen bumper music tonight. Before we went to break, there was going to be a story told, and I don't want to let it go, about Smokey C being left outside of a bar.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, proceed.
Okay, we were, me and Wood and Frank Manhattan, I believe, was with us. Frank Manhattan was with us. We were, the three of us were headed up to Columbus, and we were going to see Pondo and Necro. They were throwing it down and having a nice death match, and Smokey's like, hey, man, I want to join. And we're like, cool. Now, how old were you, Smokey?
I think I was 16.
16 at the time. Now, I'm an old guy, so I was a lot older than 16. But we hit up that show, and I got to tell you, Pondo and Necro tore that house down. Did they not?
Oh, man, tore the house down ain't even the word. M-Dog 20 broke the freaking second rope.
Oh, my God, I forgot Matt was there. M-Dog 20 had an amazing match. Pondo and Necro had an amazing match. And, of course, being Pondo, he's like, guys, we're hitting up the after party. All right. I think was there a concert? Was it an ICP concert? Or because actually Blaze was there. Oh, man, now Smokey's looking at me like he's going to hit me. Okay, there were some guys there, bro. There were some guys in the back. But the after party, of course, takes place in a bar. In order to get into a bar, you got to have ID. So we get to the ID, and we're trying to work the lady and be like, this is our brother. He doesn't have his ID with him, but he is older than 16 that he looks at this point in time. And they weren't having any of it. They were like, specifically, they said, we're sorry, he can't come in. So we had a decision to make at that point. Pondo's like, get in here, guys. And we're like, well, we have Smokey with us. And he's like, I don't care. So me and Wood and Frank, we were like, man, should we go in to the VIP party and have a great time? Necro was there. Pondo was there. Blaze Your Dead Homie. Jump Steady. Violent J's brother was there that night. Or should we just leave out of respect for Smokey C? Should we just go ahead and leave the bar and say, you know what? This is a fantastic opportunity for us to party, but we're just going to say, hey, we got to go. So when it comes down to that, we love Smokey C, but we were like, brother, you're going to have to stay outside. There's not, I mean, we love you, and I got to tell you, it was craziness going on in that VIP party. But the worst part was we went outside to smoke. And so Frank Manhattan and Pondo didn't smoke, so he was inside, and Woody and me were out there. And Woody like taps on my shoulder, and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "You turn around." I was like, "I turn around," and there through these gates, I saw Smokey C with his hands on both bars and his face and looking at us, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I felt so bad. I did not feel bad enough to actually leave, but I did feel bad enough that actually we were making him stand out there. So we went over and I talked to him for a while, and we were like, "Brother, every time we take a break from all the ladies that are in that VIP room, all the madness that's going on in that VIP room, I'm going to come out here and we're going to talk to you for about 30 seconds. So Smokey had to stand outside that bar for, I don't know how many hours, but it was a long
4
time.
hours.
4 hours. Was it 4 hours?
4 hours, bro.
Man, you should have been in there. It did not feel like 4 hours.
All right, gentlemen. I hate to interrupt, but we are going to go to the phones. Hello, this is the Wrestling Radio Show. You're on the air.
Hey, this is Jessica. This is Woody's fiance. How are you guys doing this evening?
Jessica, thank you for joining us tonight. What definitely is, a sad time. My thoughts can't go out to you more in this time, especially for you to join us tonight.
Thank you so much, brother. I just wanted to call in, and actually, I'm not as good of a storyteller as Crowza is, but I know he remembers either the first or the second show that I came to with our son, Bronson. And they came out, and we kind of did a little play with the baby. Ed, do you remember this?
First, what's up, Jess?
Hey, brother.
So, second, I have a terrible memory.
Okay, well then I'll tell the
memory.
story.
We've been over that
problem.
tonight, yeah.
Right, yeah. I have no problem telling the story. I apologize for anybody that's listening. I'm not half as good of a storyteller as Ed is. But I will say this. Our son's name is Bronson Magnus Spencer. So we've already decided that his wrestling moniker is going to be the Bronze Magnum. And we're ready to get him started taking bumps really early. So any of the brothers that want to come out and help us start that, he's 10.5 months old. I think he's ring ready. I don't know what you guys think, but I think he's ready. But I wanted to call and tell a story. He might have been 4 months old. It was either his first or his second show. He was sound asleep in my arms. If you've ever been to a wrestling show in the auditorium, the way that springboard bounces and the thump just crashes into all the walls, and it is deafening. Well, the baby was asleep the entire time. The louder it got, the more sound asleep he was. So I'm standing at the front of the ring. Here comes Woody and Crowza and their gang, and everybody's, boo, you stink, you suck, and all of this. Well, then Woody sees me holding the baby and points the bat at me. Crowza comes over to me and says, you shut that baby up right now. You shut it up.
That definitely sounds like something I would say. And I have said to many babies.
I held him so tight, and apparently I played it so well that 4 or 5 people came over to me and said, oh my gosh, are you okay? Is Woody going to say something to you? Until I had to explain, no, this is his son. I'm his wife.
Wait a minute. Hold up, back up, reverse. You broke kayfabe. You broke kayfabe and told him that, you were supposed to cry, Jess. You're supposed to say, yes, these people are horrible people. Raw talent.
Well,
Here, back me up, man.
Look,
excuse me for being green.
I don't know about the rest of the world, but I love a prime rib and I love a New York strip steak. I don't care how it's cut. Don't tell me how it's made. Just give me the steak, girl.
Well, that's the story that introduced both Bronson and I into Woody's world of wrestling, and I will never forget that moment. I appreciated the fact that Crowza was there to share that with me. I don't know if Smoke was there at that time, that night or not, but that was one of my favorite times. And, that's when I came up with Woody Numbers, the 39th wonder of the world. And he's always going to be in my heart, and he's going to be the biggest piece in my heart. I'm sad for Bronson, but I know that he's got a lot of uncles now. He's got a lot of aunts. He's got a lot of godfathers and godmothers, and I know you guys you'll take him into your arms and take us both in and help us be part of the community and the brotherhood and the fellowship that Woody introduced us to, and I'm very thankful and appreciative for that.
Just remember, you said it was okay for us to show him everything. Just remember.
Well, that's fine.
Kayfabe, Jess. Kayfabe. You protect the business. You remember that, girl.
I know. Sorry, guys. I just had to tell the one story that I remember the most.
Thank you for calling, Jess. That is wonderful. Very sweet of you.
I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for being there for us for the last couple of days. And don't be strangers, okay?
You know we love you, girlie.
All right. We love you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, I feel like that's a kid that's probably got wrestling lessons for free for life, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're taking bumps at, I don't know, about a year and a half, that's the part that really breaks my heart. Like I said, I didn't know Woody, but I know he had a young son.
Woody loved children.
Yeah, Smokey, you're a dad. Raw Talent, I know you're dad. Are you dad?
No, no.
Okay, that might be a good thing. At least you don't know about.
It's not from a lack of trying.
Yeah.
It just didn't happen.
You know, man, like seeing Wood with children was something amazing, brother.
It was special.
It was. It doesn't matter what kind of kid it was, background of the child. Woody treated every kid like it was his own, man. He really did.
He fostered children, and not a lot of people realize that, but he would welcome any child into his house. I mean, he was just a wonderful human being, especially around kids. I'm terrible. I'm like, I look at a kid, I don't touch it. I'm like, I'll break it. There's not a chance. Not like Smokey and Raw Talent here.
We're going to take a break as we continue to pay tribute tonight to Woody Numbers. This is the Wrestling Radio Show on The Jock. Wrestling Radio Show has returned on 1300, 1340 The Jock. It is the only show on the radio airwaves dedicated to the beautiful thing that is professional wrestling. We do it every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. here on 1300, 1340 The Jock. Raw Talent comes in and takes a seat next to me. Man, you got a career in radio. I don't know if I'm just saying.
Hey, look, I appreciate it. I'm glad because I feel like the only fly in the buttermilk around here, but it's okay. I can deal with it very well. I know my brother Woody, and if this had just been an entire hour of everybody being sad and depressed, he would have kicked me in my sleep tonight while I'm sleeping. And I ain't trying to be poltergeist or anything like that because he was one of those ones that would run a rib on you, and that just sounds like something he would do just to be a jerk to somebody. And I still love you, but yeah, you were pretty mean to everybody when you got a chance to, just if it was at your own humor and expense, so you got to giggle. It didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter if you had to tell somebody in another language, go ahead, drink that Jägermeister. It'll taste good. And then you have to hear, no, I don't drink Jägermeister. What happened? No more. Yeah, so yeah, we are going to dedicate this hour to my buddy Woody, and we're going to tell the truth. Hallelujah.
All right. We are joined on the phone tonight, friend of the show, good friend of the show, longtime friend of the show. TJ Phillips is on the phone. Mr. Phillips, are you there tonight?
Yeah, man. I friend of the show, yes, but friend of Woody's more importantly. That's why I'm calling tonight. Sit down with Raw Talent. I guess Smokey's supposed to be there too, and all of us have a good time. Just remember the good times, and talk about it and be happy for a change.
All right, man. Well, why don't you take us back? All these guys in the studio tonight have been sharing their earliest memories of Woody. So why don't you take us back as far as you can remember? What's the first memory you have of Woody Numbers?
Well, my first memory of actually, doing any business with him, like I'd seen him at other shows and things, but not really spoke with him or anything. But my first memory is it was my first night at IWA East Coast. And I knew I was kind of wrestling for a job. And I was nervous. I was wrestling Jason Kincaid, and I wasn't nervous about that. That I was completely calm about and thought that, I was my best chances of getting the job. But I was still nervous, I didn't want to screw up and didn't want to look like a fool. And I'd had it beaten in my head that, whatever you're going to do now, everybody in the world's going to see. So if you screw up, everybody's going to see it. So it gets to you a little bit. And I'd gotten into my own head a little. And Woody was the first person that I'd come up and spoke to me at East Coast because I knew nobody but Jason. And he come up and spoke to me and introduced himself and could tell I was nervous and, calmed me down, told me, don't worry, you belong here. If you didn't, you wouldn't be here. And it's the truth, you know what I mean? And that spoke to me a lot of ways, and I've been to a lot of other places now that I thought, man, maybe I don't belong here, but, always in the back of my head, I can hear Woody telling me, yeah, you belong here, or they wouldn't have booked you here. It makes sense. So that's my earliest memory of Woody.
Okay, TJ, this is your boy, Raw Talent. I have a couple questions I needed to ask for you there.
All right, what's up, buddy?
Okay. First,
he's acting like he's already got his own show.
Yeah. Step out the microphone. Step out the microphone. I'm in here. I'm in a house. Okay, first off, I need to know, when you got finished eating that $40 potato chip the other day, $60 potato chip the other day, when you left the room, what exactly did you do?
All right, here's the God's honest truth about that, and that's funny me saying that, isn't it? But here's the truth of that. I ate the chip, and I did my best to no-sell the mother. And the show went off the air, and I was fine. I got in the car, was driving home and was fine. Got out of the car, and it literally, I thought I was having a heart attack. It hurt. It felt like hot nails shooting from the inside out of my chest. And I didn't sleep until 8 o'clock the next night. It was horrifying. It was the worst pain I'd ever felt digesting that thing. And I do death matches.
So you're telling me that was worse than barbed wires, broken glass, and thumbtacks?
100% worse.
Wow.
I would do barbed wire every day, standing on my head.
I think
one of those.
I think Crowza would. He'd probably be able to eat like 5 of those chips, honestly.
After last night, Smokey C was throwing it down. He was throwing those wings down. And I'm not going to shoot and say he was eating mild, medium, but I'm gonna kayfabe that and actually say this. He actually we were having a good time.
Yes.
We were having a good time.
We missed you today, TJ.
Man, Smokey, I missed you guys. I really wish I could have got down there. There was honestly absolutely no way I could have. I ended up waiting until later this evening and going and Christmas shop and finishing that crap off, which was always fun. I missed coming down there. Is everybody doing okay? That's the important thing.
Yeah, actually, the entire Spencer family's doing good. But I have my second question. You were talking about doing death matches.
I don't know. I don't like the way the first question went. Go ahead.
I just asked the question. You said you have done death matches. Have you ever had to do a death match with Woody? Or where he managed you or he was involved in?
Yeah.
White Trash Bash 2.
There's one on YouTube from the White Trash Bash 2. Me and Benny Connolly and like thousands upon thousands of thumbtacks. And Woody's in that.
All right, TJ, we're going to have to take a commercial break real quick. But before we let you go, man, just real quick, any last things you want to say to fans of Woody, friends of Woody? I mean, what's your lasting memories, man? What do you take away from him?
I know for a fact he loved the business and he loved all the fans. Everybody that come out there, when he would walk through the curtain, he'd flip the switch and come alive. You know what I mean? That's when he felt his best. So, he loved everybody. And I love all you guys, and I hope y'all feel, you know, as warm a memories of Woody as I do.
TJ Phillips, friend of the show, thank you for calling in and sharing your memories tonight, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. All right, like I said, we're going to take a commercial break. It's the Wrestling Radio Show here on the Jock 1300, 1340. Wrestling Radio Show is back on 1300, 1340 The Jock as we continue tonight to pay tribute to Woody Numbers. And actually, we're going to take a phone call. Hello, you're on the Wrestling Radio Show.
Hello?
Wait. Hold up. Is this Violent Jenny?
This is Woody's sister.
This is Violent Jenny. Let me give you an introduction really quickly here, because most people don't realize this. But Violent Jenny was the official photographer, not only XMCW of IWA. I know we're running short on time. We are running short on time. But she's the official photographer IWA East Coast. She has taken more pictures at those shows than probably anybody in the world. And her pictures have been seen all over the world. The first IWA East Coast show, we got some newspapers back from Japan, and they had Violent Jenny's photographs in them, which was fantastic.
All right, Jennifer, we thank you for calling in tonight. We are running short on time. Do you have a story or memory or anything that you'd like to share with us tonight?
Yes, I would. One of my all-time favorite memories is you never knew what Crowza or Woody would do. They were always joined at the hip. And I remember one show, you hear the theme song for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly playing, and you see Cowboy Rex and Dirty Sanchez coming down the ramp. Everyone just busted out.
Okay, now, those two men were not us. Me and Woody Numbers had to take a phone call, so we stepped outside of the arena. And these two guys who happened to look like us, and they were dressed up as cowboys. They came in, did a beatdown, but by the time we got back out there, now this is just what people tell us. We never saw it, but by the time we get back in, those guys are gone, and I never ever got to meet them, but I would have loved to.
It didn't look like you, though.
They did somewhat resemble us. That's people have told me and Woody that for years, but absolutely no relationship to Cowboy Rex or Dirty Sanchez. That is legit.
Well, Jennifer, go ahead. We thank you for calling in. We are running out of time because I want to tell you that my condolences go out to you, your family, for the loss of your brothers, of course. As it goes out to all the wrestling fans out there. So my condolences go out to you and your family, and I'm very sorry on your loss.
Thank you so much.
And just a quick note, if you don't mind, the GoFundMe is still available. And if you go to GoFundMe.com, you search for Woody Numbers. And what we're going to hear, basically there is any donations that we managed to get, or currently it's at $4,500. Any more donations are going to be going to the cost of his funeral and to help the family, in this time.
Yeah. Guys out there, don't forget that Woody had a young son. Keep that in mind. That's the part that hurts me the worst is to know that there's going to be somebody out there growing up without a dad. From what you guys told me, from somebody that loved kids and
he is beautiful.
Was excited to be a dad.
Sean, back to him loving kids, man. I have kids of my own.
Yeah.
And I'm a professional wrestler, and a lot of people know that in this business, it's hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? You have good nights, you have bad nights, and many times I've been in a tight spot, brother. I live on my own. I pay my own bills and everything, all because of wrestling.
Yeah.
And there was a couple times, man, that, you know, I called Wood and explained my situation and told him what was going on. And this man dropped what he was doing and come over to my house and brought me money to make sure that my kids had something to eat. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the kind of guy he was, man. If you was his friend, he had your back through and through, man, through and through.
First friend to show up. Absolutely. 8 a.m. You never see Woody numbers before 11 a.m. unless you had something going on in your life. Then he was there 8 a.m. First guy at your door.
Doing it, but he'll be there.
He's going to be entered into Gary Dameron and ASW's Hall of Fame. You're actually going to be a part of that as well. You're going to be in the inaugural class. So what does that mean to you, to go in the class with as Woody as well? It
absolutely means the world to me. It means the world to Wood. When we were in North Carolina, Gary let us know. Actually, Violent Jenny was just on the phone, got Woody on the phone, and we were able to announce to him, let him know that was going on. That was, of course, still when he was conscious. He was still alive. He could understand what was going on, and he was so proud. And it just means the world to both of us. I mean, that's just insane to for anyone to honor you like that. Yeah. And Gary is, who runs ASW, is a fantastic guy. So many years ago, he was running Christian shows of music shows.
Yeah.
And we ran into him. We were doing XMCW at the time. He came up to me, and actually I was like, "Oh yeah, brother, come on in." And that was his first introduction to the wrestling business. And so when he said he wanted to start promoting shows, Gary is such a wonderful guy, and we got him hooked up. And I was like, "Okay, what you need to do is talk to Woody." And so Gary talked to Woody, and Wood took care of helping Gary out. It's just, it's an honor to do so many SW shows and for them to put us in. It's just absolutely wonderful.
Well, guys, we're getting close to the end of this tribute to Woody Numbers. Just from each of you, 40's way too young, but it sounds like Woody Numbers was a guy that created a lot of memories, created a lot of lasting effects. In the 40 years that was here. So each of you personally, what's going to be your all-time lasting memory of Woody Numbers?
My all-time lasting memory, man, there was so many. I would just say the memory of him himself, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just having him around, period, was a memory. You know what I mean? He was always creating great times, and he was always having a good time, man, That would be my memory of Woody. Just any time I was with Woody was a memory.
I'm going to keep a hood. My favorite memory of Wood is right before shows, he would show up, and there would be a shot of Fireball that would be shared between us before we would talk about what we're going to do that night. And then we would pray for everybody in that show to be safe. Not to any particular denomination, just please make sure everybody's okay in this ring tonight. And we would toast and do a shot. That's my favorite memory.
2 words, his laugh. It was a combination of childlike wonder, mischief, and honest to God, I swear I wish I would have developed the ability to imitate that laugh. We both did these. We both drank some martinis for the first time in our lives, and I looked at him. I said, "Oh, this is just the worst thing I've ever had." And he laughs and giggles while he talks, and he says, and anyone that knows him can just conjure up that laugh in their head. And he said, "Oh, Ed, it's absolutely horrible," but the way he says it is just. I will always. That is the one thing. Is his laugh. I mean, it really, it always brings a smile to my face to even think about it. Today, I just can't get over that.
Yeah, and like I've been saying throughout this whole thing, I don't have a personal story of Woody Numbers or anything like that, but I can definitely tell you from all the wrestling fans out there that watched him work, it's definitely going to be sad to see him not outside the ring. The bandana, the tie, the suspenders, the black tie, the whole thing. And it's definitely going to be sad as a wrestling fan not to see Woody Numbers doing what he did. And that's my memory of him. seeing him work. And that's what I'll take away as my lasting memory of Woody Numbers. Like you guys said, the GoFundMe account is still going on. Can you get that information out one more time?
Absolutely. If you go to GoFundMe and you search for Woody Numbers, it's the only GoFundMe that I'm aware of that is currently there. So I believe the URL is a little bit long to give out, but if you search for that or you search on Facebook, you should be able to find it. $1, $5, anything that you can donate. No amount is too small. No amount is too large. And his family appreciates it. His brothers, the three of us right here in the studio, who've bled with him, who sweat with him, who've cried with him. We appreciate every single cent. And if it wasn't for the fans, if it wasn't for everybody out there, we would have never been able to bring him home. And that meant the world to all of us.
Yeah, like they said. $1 helps, $5 is better, $20 is even better. Give what you can, because Wood had a young son, and that's what I keep emphasizing on, because that's the sad part. As fathers ourselves, as we said in here, to know somebody that loved kids, that was excited to be a dad, is going to miss out on that opportunity, and his son's going to miss out on the opportunity to have such a great dad as well. That's the part that kills me, guys. My heart goes out to all the boys out there. We thank everybody that called in tonight. Again, if you go, well, you should be going to wrestling shows anyways.
Indie shows.
Yes,
Support
indie shows.
the business.
Support the business. But please, the next couple weeks, the next couple months, get out to those shows, because I guarantee you at the beginning of those shows, you're going to be hearing the bell tolled across the state of West Virginia, throughout each one of those shows, being told for Woody Numbers at the beginning of the shows. Guys, I thank you for coming in tonight. I thank you for sharing your stories. I know it hasn't been easy the last couple days, last week or so, or hell, the last month since October. But all I can say is it'll get easier, and always keep the memories.
And Woody wouldn't want us to be sad at all. He's not somebody that would ever want you to shed a tear. Although we have been doing that, regardless of whether that's what he wanted or not. But we have been doing that. But he would want us to be happy. He'd want all the fans to just remember the good times. I proposed once to him in the ring. He is my heterosexual life mate.
We're gonna have to just do like one, just show off the air or something.
We can tell you some real stories at that point.
Wrestling radio show after dark. We'll get some swanky music or something. Yeah.
Bow chicka wow wow.
I just before we get off of here,
Yeah,
man,
I
just want to give a shout out to the Spencer family, Mama
Yes.
Spencer, Papa Spencer, brothers, sisters, man. You guys have been incredible throughout this and very strong, and that's what Woody would have wanted, man. Thank you guys for everything you've done this past 2 months. Thank you.
The hurricane, bring the pain.
There you go. Wrestling fans out there in West Virginia, keep Woody in your thoughts. Keep Woody's family in your thoughts. Keep all the boys in your thoughts as we continue to be strong and move through this sad time in West Virginia wrestling history. Gone but not forgotten, Woody Numbers.